Hey, Gagey. Welcome. Hey, Gage. Doing well, man. Doing well. Thank you. Thank you for asking. How are you today? Rob, what's up, man? Mr. Two a day over there. I saw you do two a day today, man. There you go. Welcome, Rob. Ah, nice. Working in the basement. Sounds fun. You have people to escape from down there? Oh, you did two a day yesterday too, huh? Sometimes it don't hurt. Sometimes it don't hurt to say goodbye. What? I got no pipe issues. No pipe issues. And I think I said, "Are you escaping from someone down there?" You know. Hey, welcome. My name is Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. Some people call me Buckskin Cal. It wouldn't be wrong. Those brilliant people who call me that would not be wrong. I should change my member names to Buckskin Pals. Buckskin Cal and his Buckskin Pals. I could see why. What's his name? Stephen Edholm. I'm throwing a name out there. This guy's a YouTuber, runs a channel called Skill Cult. Um, I can see why he ended up falling into doing mostly buckskin, like how that's his obsession. It's really fun because you can get such different textures and things like that. But mostly, it's so tactile. It's like I guess it's like the adult male equivalent of having a stuffed animal. Welcome everybody. My name is Calvin, and I am the adult male version of a guy who needs a stuffed animal. Christine Taylor, welcome. Shout out Christine. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. If you are here, do say hi like Christine did. Be brave. We don't bite for the most part. FTMP, right? Maybe just a little bit, just a little nibble here and there. When we don't like something or when we do like something. Sometimes you bite things you like. Ask Heather. Ask Heather about that. She wants to bite stuff all the time. You got to watch out. She puts her jaws on things. So how's everybody out there? It's a warm day here in the East Coast of North Carolina, eastern part of North Carolina, of Carolina. Down here in the barren tall pine forest of North Carolina. Where the deer run fast and the men grow medium and people fall out of cars into the river. Subscribers only mode is on. Ooh. Sorry. This is what you got to do. You got to tap that subscribe button and become an instant friend of this family that we have here. Just become an instant friend. Oh, I didn't set a subscriber goal. I got to do that, y'all. We got to always set goals. I got my mindset on you. I got my mindset. Hey, when I get rich, I'm gonna license that song of all songs. And whenever we set daily goals, it's gonna be I got my mindset on you. Anybody else remember that song from the 80s? Rob, you remember that one? Are we the same age, Rob? I'm scraping Buckskin, Logan edits. You know what Buckskin is, Logan? Welcome. I'm frizzing Buckskin right now is what I'm doing. I'm in the last phase of frizzing, I would say. All right, Buckskin is a type of leather. Now you can see on my apron here that I made out of my own leather that I made. This came from a deer, and what it came from was the outside of the deer skin under the hair. So when you see shiny leather, that's the outside of an animal's skin where the hair has been removed. But you can remove this part here that you see shiny and get a fuzzy, soft texture that's more drapey and breathes. And that material is an American material that we call, the Native Americans also made it for thousands of years, and it is called buckskin, where on both sides the material is soft. The grain has been scraped and the flesh side has been scraped aggressively, right? That's what we call a buckskin. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Tree Gnome Villager, welcome. Hope that explained what I'm doing. It is, if you can call leather a textile, it's, I would say, a traditional American textile. Some of our greatest heroes and biggest villains love buckskin. Used to clean cars. Oh, chamois. That's made out of sheep, though, traditionally. A chamois? Yeah. A chamois traditionally made, and the reason it's named after an actual mountain goat. So it's a type of leather. I want to say it's a sheepskin, sheep-like buckskin, actually. And it is absorptive. But interesting you brought that up. Okay, Logan, welcome. 12 years. Okay. You're about my son's age. I've got 3 sons around your age, Logan. Also about the age of the kids I used to teach in school. Taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade for 17 years. That was George Harrison, Ron? I did not know that. George Harrison wrote a good song, man. He knew how to write a good song, dude. A lot of he's the Beatle people don't talk about enough. Well, I mean, he's talked about, but like that Hare Krishna song he wrote, really good one, man. I remember asking my parents about it because it was so catchy when I was little. They were like, "Yeah, he's not talking about the one you know." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's saying, "Precious Lord, my sweet Lord," right? They're like, "Yeah, different, my sweet Lord." I don't think I have a favorite song, Logan, because I went to school for music, so I got a lot of different music. It depends on my mood, man. And right now, I don't know that I have a musical mood. So you have to ask me that. I mean, I don't think I can come up with a favorite song, especially one that people would know, right? Because I'm a nerd. I'm a music nerd. That's probably the best way of explaining it. I'm a music nerd. The songs I tell you are going to be deep in some kind of classical music catalog or something. Are you a pretty eclectic person, Rob? Okay, so there's an English composer, and his name is Ralph Vaughan Williams. One of the greatest composers. Definitely, maybe the greatest English composer, but one of the greatest composers of the 20th century. I think John Williams took a lot from him. He graduated. Well, he was a professor at I want to say the Royal College of Music, same place that Benjamin Britten was one of his students. Ralph Vaughan Williams, great composer. He wrote this piece called Fantasia on a Theme by Thomas Tallis. I love Thomas Tallis a lot, the English composer. I'm a very big fan of Tallis. Tallis was way ahead of his time. I think that the stuff that he wrote in the 1400s, it still connects with me. Like, that's how powerful the polyphony he was creating was, in my opinion. So when Ralph Vaughan Williams, another very talented composer, took a piece from Tallis that I love, and did his Fantasia. I'm just a big fan of Ralph Vaughan Williams, particularly a piece of music that he wrote called A Serenade to Music. And it's a 16-voice solo piece. It's a really interesting piece. I did not like it the first time I heard it. Rachmaninoff came to England for the premiere of this piece of music. Rachmaninoff, another one of my favorite players. I don't know composers, but players. He came to England, and when he heard it, he cried. That's name a car for an edit. Oh, are you doing cars? I'm going to say Volkswagen Scirocco. So the piece is called A Serenade to Music, and the words are taken, and Ralph Vaughan Williams was clever about where he took his words from. In this case, it's from the 5th act of A Merchant of Venice. There's a scene, and he's taking, it starts with How Sweet the Moonlight. It's a little scene in A Merchant of Venice, which is one of my favorite Shakespeare plays, not because it's anti-Semitic. That's not why. It's a brilliant story. A man who has to sell himself to meet the woman that he's in love with. There's no other woman on the earth, and he has to basically make a deal with a guy he doesn't really want to deal with in order to meet this woman, even though he knows he might have to renege or whatever on this deal. So how do you spell that? All right, it's SCIRRR SCIRROCCO. SCIRROCCO. Scirocco. I think it's a word for desert wind in Italian. Anyway, that's my piece. And I'm going to stop talking about it because my people in here want to hear me talk about Buckskin, but it's a piece that touches my heart every time I hear it. I get emotional. So it's a very I would say existential piece. It's talking about there's a comparison between all these different kind of back in the day people were much more aware of Greek mythology and Roman mythology. those stories were supposed to relate to people. People were supposed to understand the feelings of these different mythological gods and beings. There's a line in that my favorite line in that piece of music is and it's from Shakespeare. He says, I think it's hush now, the moon sleeps with Endymion. There's an ancient Greek myth where the moon goddess Diana falls in love with a man on the earth. And in order for him to stay in love with her, she has to keep him asleep forever. So Diana, who's a Titan god, right? One of the only Titans to survive into the, you know, what do they call it? The Olympian god period. She falls in love with this guy Endymion, and she chooses to stay asleep with him for eternity so that she can be with him. There's some kind of allusion, I think, in that story to a person sacrificing all joy in their life because of the thing they desire. Logan edits. I don't hunt the animals all the time. I'm not against hunting, and I do have a hunting license, but I don't collect these. These deer hides were all roadkill. Some of my squirrels I hunted this year. Next year, I can't tell you what's going to happen. But if I do hunt a deer, I'm not going to throw away its hide. And I do like venison, and I do eat meat. So there you go. What's up, Mike Osborne? Outdoor Malachi. Welcome, welcome. My name's Buckskin Cal. Oh, did I set a goal? I didn't set a goal. Let's go back. Do I need to retroactively set a goal? We're going to say 53 of 55. 53, 55, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get to that number today. Let's get to 53, 55 subscribers. 5,355, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking that march. We're trying to get there. So please do subscribe. My name's Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. Right now I'm finishing up this. This was a rotten piece of roadkill, Logan edits. Since you're 12 and you know all about this stuff. This is a deer hide that was almost 100% rotten. And now I don't mind like putting it up to my face and all that. But when I was first handling it, it was really bad. It is in my new video that I'm working on. I did not take a picture of the animal when I dressed it, but I did take pictures of fleshing it and some pictures in the process. It was quite a challenge to dress an animal that smelled that bad and had maggots and stuff in it. And but you know, at the end of the day, there's barely any holes in this hide at all. We got one little tiny hole here. That might have been for me. We got one hole here, and I did pin it to a board, so some of these holes on the sides are from being pinned to a board. My theory was, y'all, that you can nothing messes with the collagen. Most of the carrion and maggots and all the nasty stuff, they don't eat the collagen. All they do is eat the flesh off of it. So they actually clean the hide for you. If you got the chutzpah to go pick it up and you don't have the ick factor, doesn't bother you because you got a pair, you know, then you could pick them up and make really nice leather. Well, we'll say buckskin. You can make good textile products out of them. I don't know about leather. This one had so much damage to the grain, it couldn't be regular leather. Whatever was eating it was scraping at the grain. So this part here, as I was talking about, this would have been all scratched up. Okay, all right. Making car edits. Oh, all right. I'm gonna do the edit. I will tag you in it. Okay, man. Do it. Should have said Ford Ranger. Yeah, I should have. So if you do another one, edits, do another one with a Ford 1998 Ford Ranger. That's my current driver. Older than some people in this room. And I got regular tags on it. 1998 Ford Ranger. That's my driver, man. Hey, does someone double tap that screen? Give me that 20th like. Oh, thank you. Logan said, see ya. Take care, Logan. Can't wait to see my Ford Ranger edit. It's got to be an extra cab, Ford Ranger, big tall wheels, all of that. So make sure you get all that in there, Logan. It's got to have a manly man in the driver's seat, too. It's got to have a guy looking like this in the driver's seat. I gave this one a little double dose of the fat liqueur, and it's acting like it's going to be very soft. I need to get the hatchet out, y'all. Time to get the hatchet out. Hey, you can't hide. You can't hide from Dad's workshop, where we are scraping this side. I'm going to get out the hatchet, which has some weight to it. $22. Thank you, Miss Heather says nice handle. This handle's made out of squirrel leather, y'all. Spring steel head on this hatchet. Well, not the handle's made out of ash, but the wrap around the handle is made out of squirrel leather. This really does the job, y'all. Really does the job. And I got to get this fur out that I got behind me because I've fat liquored that. That needs to be scraped off too. What I say my goal was 53.55 today. 53.55, ladies and gentlemen. That's the subscriber number we're trying to get to. Do subscribe. Also consider becoming a member. It's a small amount of support. It's only like $4.99 a month. Or $3.99 a month or something. Then I have a high level of membership also too, just for folks that have means that want to provide support for a channel that does educational work. We're doing educational work here, man. We're teaching traditional craftsmanship, and we're also learning as we teach. It's an active learning, teaching, engaging, socializing. So engage and socialize with me and put something in the chat and stop being so shy. Am I talking too much? Do I need to let y'all talk? Here, I'm going to pass the microphone. There you go. You introduce yourself. Now, there is a small risk that with this hatchet that you scrape through, but I have not done that but on the edges yet. So I'm not that scared of it, and you can't be like skittish when it comes to scraping these things. You got to be aggressive. Be aggressive. My name's Calvin. What's yours? Gets a little touch and go when you get to that edge. Yes, Miss Heather sings everything to the tune of Stacy's mom. So, like, if she's doing the laundry, she'll be like, "Put in the detergent going in. It's all I want, and I waited for so long." She doesn't add any other words. That's what she does. She just takes like the beginning of it. She's like, "Cleaning toilets, cleaning toilets. It's all I want, and I waited for so long." That's what she does. Everything's to the tune of Stacy's mom, ladies and gentlemen, because it's Dad's workshop, and that's how we roll. I mean, she could switch it up to Jesse's girl, you know what I mean? Make a lateral move. I wish I had trash bags here. I want to have trash bags now. How can I find a trash bag like that? See, if you run out of trash bags, that's how you roll it. Right there. Ooh, I got more viewers when I usually lose 40 viewers when I start singing. The guy who wrote Stacy's mom probably was singing Jesse's girl every day, and he's like, you know what? I think the only thing to do now is just to write a song to replace that one, you know? Yes, be aggressive. Got to be aggressive with when you're hitting the skins. When you're hitting the skins, man, you know, you got to be aggressive. Does that make sense? Not to sound sexual or anything, you know. Yes, because this is roadkill, and as I was saying, and I looked up, there are over 350 million animals killed, roadkill animals each year in the United States. 350 million. It means all of us could have 1.5 roadkill animals if we all went out. I'm sure everybody wants to do that, you know. But that's like a huge untapped resource, man. And anybody who knows anything about me knows I'm gonna tap that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tap that resource because it's untapped. So, you know, it is. It is ASMRE. It's very, and then when I come up and show you the progress, like you guys see progress too, like that's part of it. You can kind of see how it's getting there here. You know, very ASMRE. We had an E to it. ASMRE. Make it an adjective. That's super satisfying. I like to see a whole couch made out of this stuff. Like, well, I mean, not the whole couch, not the stuffing of the couch, but like the couch upholstery, if it was made out of this. Why can't I find a sofa like that? Numbers going straight back down now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen. I can hardly hear myself because the fans I got on. It's 80 plus degrees in freedom units out here. I don't know what it is in English temperature, but I can tell you what it is in freedom language. 80 some degrees. You like that? And freedom units. I'm about to take a break from this one and work on the flesh side of this fur that I just rehydrated, I think, yesterday, and have been neglecting a little bit to work on this thing. I want to make sure that I don't neglect it completely. And all the little schmutzo comes off. You got to make sure you get rid of it out of your area because it'll go back on your hide too. All right, so this is a buck hide. This was a smaller buck. This was a little like a 4-pointer here. So a smaller buck, I believe. Still a heavy animal, as I recall. I had to schlep it up into the truck. And then you can see it's been on this side. The reason it's dark like that is because it's been treated with brain emulsion, but not scraped. And so it's waiting for me to scrape all of that mess off of it. You can see this is where he got hit. Well, yeah, that is where he got hit. He got hit in his backside and the thickest part of the leather. But still a lot of really good fur. And I wanted to make this into a throw here. It's a really nice, I like the color pattern on this buck. He had an interesting color pattern. So that's what we're working on now. And y'all can see how it turns to a suede-ish color there when we get through it. It becomes like a butternut. And this is where we're getting off, right? It's little pieces of flesh and stuff that never came off. And then it's gonna break those fibers up so it becomes softer. I need it to lay a little flatter on the floor. I used alum on this one too. I think when I was tanning it, I wouldn't do that if I would do it again because it would just not. It's never gonna cooperate fully with me like that, I don't think. Someone was like, be careful. I'm like, man, you don't need to worry. I'm not going to pierce through this that easily, especially up in the neck area. People don't know leather is strong stuff, man. And until I dealt with it, I had no real concept of the strength of this stuff. It is extremely rigid material. And, you know, when it sits out in the wilderness on a rotting animal and nothing happens to it, the collagen itself over months and it sits there, kind of gives you an idea of how strong the natural tendency is of skin. We'll do this. We'll put it down on here. This is the best place for it. Go down to the bottom of the chat. Sorry, I'm trying. I'm like looking up here. Am I way behind? I might have to take a brush bit to some of this bottom part here. Maybe my hatchet will do it. So these crevices and stuff, I should have pinned this to a board when I finished it. I think I can get it. I'm putting some force on it right now. Putting some pressure down on there. Woo! That's a workout, man. Ah, brush bits. Yeah, those will help with this. I think a brush bit on the screw gun will do the work I can't get done on these edges. Just to tenderize these edges a little bit. Yes, Marley was very happy. Very happy, pup. I think nothing makes me feel my humanity more than an innocent human or an innocent animal. I'm just saying, nothing makes me really sit in my humanity more than an innocent human who you see the innocence in, or an innocent animal. You feel your humanity rush through you, and you realize that you're not the same kind of perfect. And you have to make choices that might sometimes make you lesser than that animal or that other human on a moral level, right? I think it first occurred to me when I was a little kid. I went out with a rifle, true story. And stick around for this one. I was allowed to wander around a farm and the guns were unlocked. And I knew that, and I knew where the ammunition was too. And so I wandered around rural Minnesota at the age of, I was 9 or 10 with a loaded rifle. I was told at one point I could go varmint hunting, but I don't think they ever told me I could go wander around like a 2-mile area with a rifle at that age. But I just wanted to shoot stuff, you know? And I went to a tree and there was a grackle in the tree. And I aimed at the grackle and lined up the iron sights and I shot the grackle right through its heart. And the cloud of feathers, the grackle flipped over the branch with its claws on the branch upside down in its final death throes. And I immediately felt guilt in my heart because I knew I wasn't going to eat that bird. And I knew I shouldn't have killed it. innocent animal. So my point is to say, at that moment, I was like, well, now what can I do to rectify this mistake that I've made in my soul, right? And I'm not saying sometimes, I mean, I will say there's justified killing, and killing to eat is different. But I was killing to kill at that point, and so I don't think that was right. Goes to say, at that moment, and I went and I took the bird and I brought it into the barn where I knew there was hundreds of cats, and the cats ate it. It was gone within 10 minutes. So I felt better about it, but I never did it after that. I wouldn't. Actually, I don't go duck or bird hunting at all, really. Oh, turkey, I guess. I go out for turkey. I love my birds. Even when I'm out in the woods hunting, I just kind of whisper to them. I know I'm not the same, definitely not the same person I was when I was a little kid, but you know, that's none of us. You live and learn, and you see in an innocent animal, sometimes it teaches you about your own humanity, because you realize that you may be the one who's being punished. I don't know, you know. This life is crazy, man. How many goes do we get? You know what I mean? And if we have a bad go, do we get another bad go? You know? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what my subscriber goal is, y'all. Scraping deer skins on Dad's workshop. Jive01 said, my father took us hunting. I never pulled the trigger, not until after I got out of the Corps. Most of the time I don't shoot. I just watch. I prefer the bow. Yeah, there's a lot of folks like that. I used to go get my oil done at a shop, an old dentist. He was a two tours of Vietnam. He was revered in the area as being an excellent turkey hunter. But after he went to Vietnam and did his tours and came back, he never wanted to kill turkeys and stuff. So he would go and show up at like youth weekend and stuff like that, but he would never he wouldn't hunt anymore. He didn't have the stomach for it. Yep. He didn't have the stomach for it. Probably should have used the word unalived. He unalived them. He unalived stuff. To the stupid algorithm. Sometimes I'm gonna smack the algorithm in its stupid face. Smack the stupid algorithm in its stupid friggin' face. I can tell this is not a live shot of me right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I scraped that pretty good. Let me check on my little subscriber goal. Little subscriber goal. What did I say, 55? Oh, nah, not even nowhere close. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Jive, though, welcome, man. Make sure you subscribe and pop back in, too, and stay with us. Whoa, way down. Way down. By the way, folks, I was telling a story, to be honest with people, not to get them to get upset. Guess I got to be careful what I talk about. But, you know, I'm an open book, man. I don't like to, keep things from folks. Oh, you didn't pay attention? Nah, it's all right. I'm not going to tell it again. Look at my number. I think I'm going to roll out, y'all. YouTube's punishing me. Oh, no, it's not as bad on there. Why when I scroll down is there's like a girl running a thirst trap where she grabs at her throat? That is so weird. Why is that on my feed? Just trying to get an honest number here. All right, let me put this deer hide back up, which feels like it's kind of slim. That's the thing about deer fur, y'all. It's not that good. it doesn't hold. It slips a lot and slides out of the follicle. So you know, things like these raccoons are much better for fur. So if you watch my video and you're somebody who's trying to like keep the fur on an animal, consider not doing it with a deer. It's not really worth it to have a hair on deer hide unless you're making a mount or something. Then it may be worth it then. Framing nails guy was Lou, whose house is getting the roof today. Mystery solved. Oh, there we go. So now we know where our framing nails came from that we got delivered to our front of our house. I didn't order any framing nails. She didn't order any framing nails. They're about to hit the eBay. They're about to hit eBay though, real hard. Framing nails, 2 boxes. I'm in a weird mood, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm faking it. Looks like Buckskin cow does better with the buckskin. Makes sense. This can be done with any hide, like that you create leather with, basically, but it's mostly done with deer. That's why it's referred to as the male deer. And I have female here too. This is a doe right here. This was not a male. It's still referred to as buckskin, even so. That notwithstanding. We started off with good numbers today too. Must have scared them away. Keep plugging away. You just got to keep going. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. Hey, I'm glad you subbed, Jive. I'm glad to have you. New friend, Jive. Shout out, Jive. You're still in there. So y'all see these edges right here? These edges is where it's bunched up. It's really hard to pull out. Also, this is like belly. So it's really thin. So the more I scrape those areas, the more they're likely to do this and rip, right? So I'm trying to be gentle around those particular areas. Ever since I started calling myself Buckskin Cow, this guy named Buckin Billy Ray Smith, he's a Canadian lumberjack, that started showing up on my live stream on my feed. So I popped into a couple of his live streams. Buckin Billy Ray Smith. Buckin Billy Ray Smith. Shout out Buckin Billy Ray Smith. I can whisper. I like the sound too, yo. What am I making from it? I'm not making anything from it right now because I already have a project underway. I'll show you my flip-flops, and this apron is my first project here. Whoops. I always do that. So like, these are slides I'm making because I'm going crab fishing in the Chesapeake Bay in a couple months. So here's an example of what I can make with them. This is grain leather that I made. And then the sole, top sole here is buckskin. That help? Yeah, it's pretty cool to go all the way from animal to clothing, right? From animal, the whole tanning process, into actually making the clothing out of it. That's the part that I enjoy. The part that I can say, wow, I took this thing from a living organism or whatever to a very, and I'm going to tell you, when I say those are comfortable, they are extremely comfortable. I put them on last night. I was like, I like the way they feel on my feet. It's like having nothing on, but at the same time, they're like cool. They have a breathability to them, kind of like someone was talking about the chamois earlier. Chamois breathe really well too. All right. So. But I'd rather put some buckskin away. I don't want to use it all up really quickly. It's very hard to make. And if I'm not physically capable of making it at some point, I want to have it around, some around that I can make things out of. I try to always act as if I need something, right? This is all kind of, and it's borderline on the survival, spectrum of the skill tree, You're trying to use whatever little materials you have. For example, when Heather and I eat, sometimes we'll eat an entire meal of only wild stuff, like wild game, and then we have vegetables that we grew, right? And the only thing in that entire meal that would be something from the store would be rice or potato. It would be a wild game, a vegetable we grew, and then a grain from the store. So what can you do for yourself to eliminate your need to rely on others? In the event that there's an emergency, you're going to really appreciate that you did that. And you'd be surprised how much emergencies occur. Or maybe you wouldn't. Maybe it would be something you would know or be prepared for. Douglas said, I was living in Nunavut for a while. The dogs in the area would pack together and become wild. They would be killed off. The natives would use the skins and furs of the dogs for trims on clothing. I'm not surprised about that. Those the Nunavut people, what the Canadians would call Inuit people, they're the most skilled fur sewers on the planet. They know how to sew. And here's the saddest thing about this, dude. When the whites invaded these areas, they gave them cow skins and stuff. And so a lot of the most recent materials, and I don't know if Mike is in the house here. Mike knows a little bit about this. But when the whites came and put the Indians on res, they didn't have their game animals. They gave them cows. And so the great quality of their wild garments was being reduced because they were being forced to do the same thing that they used to do with wild skins, with cow skins, which don't have the same qualities. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Thank you for contributing that, Douglas. When I was home on leave, my dad told me that he tried trapping when he was 10. Him and my uncle wanted coonskin cats, so they were going to make them. He didn't trap a coon. They got a skunk. Skunks are actually really good to trap. We had this conversation with Oak Ridge taxidermist the other day. They are a very valuable animal, more expensive than a raccoon, like double the price of a raccoon, right? So yeah, so Douglas, I had a seal. My grandfather lived in Kotzebue. I don't know if you know where that is. You know where Kotzebue is? My grandfather lived there. I never been there. It's way like 600 miles north of the Arctic Circle. It's on the ice bridge basically to Russia. My grandfather brought me back a sealskin wallet, and what was interesting about it, I thought seals were bald. Like I didn't know they had hair on them. And the wallet had like this much hair on it. Let me find a hide that has approximately the same amount of hair on it. Like this squirrel, right? Let me find a squirrel that looks good. These ones look ragged. That's not my best one, is it? All right. So here's a squirrel hide right here. My wallet looked like this. It was a sealskin wallet from Kotzebue. It was just like it looked like polar bear fur though. It was white fur all the way around, like off-white fur, and then they did a whip stitch around the edge of it, so it kept the edge really, really nice. It was obviously made by local people, but that's like what it felt like when you took it out of your pocket was fur. It was actually fur. The Eskimos are really clever at maintaining fur. Yeah. So Kotzebue, that's where my grandfather lived. He'd spend. They only did part of the year in school. He was a teacher up there, and so he would live part of the year in Minnesota and part of the year in Kotzebue. And he actually pulled an Alaskan teaching pension from that at the end of his life. But he was very close with the folks and it was good because he was dry. My grandfather didn't drink, and you can't be a drinker and going on to Eskimo land. So tough guy though, my granddad. He is. I mean, so tough that a lot of people didn't like him. Too tough. Yeah, you can be a little too rigid, man. It is possible. Turn that off. You open that up. Blah, 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 blah. Just a lot of barking orders, man. And I know him based on my mom's childhood. He wasn't very nice. So, but brought me back a wallet. The Eskimo folks up there really liked him, and he did a good job. He was a good teacher. His students always thought he was very nice, which I thought was interesting. As a teacher, he was loved by his students. Yeah, the Alberta's Trappers Association here. They do a lot of educating for the public on the importance of trapping. Yeah, so you're out west in Canada. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so very similar to Eskimo skin sewing. And I know in Canada they consider Eskimo a racist term, but they don't in Alaska. That's what they prefer to be called. So it's different. They use the term Inuit usually in Canada, or First Nations, or whatever your term is. I'm very proud and very happy to have a lot of First Nations folks, Native American folks that pop through my live stream. Um, Varying degrees, but some very, very like um, proud folks. I don't know if Mike's around, but a lot of folks around here know quite a bit about that. So proud of that we could bring those people with that wealth of information that they were raised with. That helps me operate it. It helps me be able to keep this thing uh, honest. Is that right? I didn't know that, Douglas. I know the Cree are up there. That's a Oh man, I saw that movie about Hugh Glass, and that dude was eating that deer raw. I guess there's a part of his story where he's rescued by somebody eating raw meat. It's crazy, but it is true, they do eat raw meat. Like some of their seal and stuff is kept in jars and to ferment. So there's some argument that fermented raw meat like kills off bad cells or something. I don't know. And so some people with cancer have gone to Alaska before to ask the folks there on how to cure their meat. The way they'll take seal and ferment it in jars and stuff, but it's not cooked. They generally cook their food, but there are some applications where they don't, and it's pretty obvious, especially to like people who go there and eat with them because they can't stomach it, right? I did not know that though. Very, very interesting. I've eaten narwhal, beluga whale, and ring seal raw. Crazy. It's clean though. Got that salt water. I mean, where's it going to get salmonella from, right? It's in the ocean. And that's like, you tell me. Yeah. That's Miss Heather's question. Is excellent question. What would you say about narwhal, beluga whale, any whale meat? I'm told it's like steak or pork or like ribeye. Like I'm told it's like mammal because they're mammals. People think it's like fish, but I want to know, what does it taste like? How does it feel in the palate? I know it's oily. Douglas, I'm waiting with bated breath right now. Hopefully you're still there. Really, with an oily hint of fish. Interesting. Up near Kotzebue, they were whaling on the ice, and they found they had a bowhead, and the bowhead that they caught, they butchered it on the ice block. This is what they do, and they have 4-wheelers out there. You probably know all this stuff. I'm telling you stuff you know. But they then they butcher the whale, and they open it, and they find a Clovis style spear tip inside of this bowhead whale. This is only a few years ago. I believe it's on video when they found it. And this was when they realized that the bowhead whale can live to be hundreds of years old. Hundreds of years old. Because this spear tip hadn't been used by people in that area or any area for well over 100 years. So the whale that they had caught, the whale that they speared and harpooned and pulled back onto that ice block, was hundreds of years old, this bowhead. They live a long time in the cold deep of the ocean, especially the bowheads. And we don't know how long the blue whales live, but we know the bowheads and the there's some other whales out there that live a long. Gray whales live a long time, potentially hundreds of years. Ew. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the seal was. I've heard that about seal too. I heard it's a little different and difficult for a typical American Canadian palate to take. My numbers are real pitiful right now. I think I'm gonna say thank you all for being here. Douglas, nice to meet you. Jive, welcome. All the new folks, appreciate you being here today. My name is Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. It is warm out here, and I'm so happy to have been able to get out here today and hang out with y'all. Let me put my little knife back in the sheath. I broke my sheath on my hatchet by hitting my hatchet against this. By the way, this sheath is made out of raccoon and deer hide. I broke it hitting something stupidly with my hatchet, with it in the sheath still. How dumb. So I was nailing something with the leather sheath on it. That's why that happened, man. I feel so dumb about it, but I can fix it. No problem. Yeah, come back and check in with us. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me, Buckskin and Cal. Make sure to drop a like before you roll out, and come and hang out with us another time. Appreciate everybody. Do the next right thing, and we will see you all later. Take care.